Hi, this is Chris with Lone Wolf, and today I'm going to walk you through how to manage your permissions and grant user access to our new analytics platform. So on the right side of my screen here, you can see I'm already in our analytics platform, and I've gotten to this page from going View and Repository. And so here you can see our folder structure in terms of how we save reports and report builders in the system. So public is what Lone Wolf creates that everyone across our client base can run that report and see and access that report. So you'll see we have this folder for deal records, which has all our deal reports. We actually have a deal records data folder as well, and that has all the underlying data and kind of report builders or ad hoc views available for people. So if you have access to this folder, you can modify the reports or you can kind of create brand new reports based on these data sets. The one last thing to call to your attention is this grouping down here. So this would be specific to your organization. It probably have your brokerage name or client ID, and you can create however many folders you want here and organize them in any way you want. And these will be where you can save and modify reports specific to your organization. So I wanted to show you the folder structure because that's how permissions are controlled, is by the folder structure. So on the left here, I'm actually going to go over to our home.lwolf.com screen where I would log in, and then I could see these buttons here. I'm going to click permissions, and it's going to take me to a security group page. So security group is the combination of permissions that are available, and then I can assign multiple users to it. So I don't have to create, individual security groups for any individual person, although I have that flexibility if I want. I'm going to create a brand new security group just for the demo purposes. And the first thing first is, what products does this person have access to, or excuse me, the security group have access to? Right now it's only analytics, and we look to kind of expand this out to other products in the future. So you can say, yes, this security group has access to analytics. So then you can see the specific permissions for analytics below. And you'll see it maps one-to-one to the folder structure we already just talked about. So here's my organizational permissions that maps to these folders. And if I created a new folder, it would show up in this list. And so you can go and you can grant access to say people can only read the data that's in this folder, or maybe they can actually edit the stuff that's in this folder and create their own reports, that kind of thing. Further down is, as you would expect, the public resources. So you can't edit any of these, right? Because they're kind of globally available. But if you have read access to the folder, you can take a copy of it, save it to your own folder where you have edit access, and then you can make changes specific to your organization. And once again, I can give access to the canned reports, and I can not give access to the actual underlying data. So the user could just run deal reports without actually being able to build brand new reports based on the underlying data. Potentially that's important where you want to give them access to build deal reports, but you don't want to give them any access to financial reports. So you can just leave that one left alone. So you have a lot of flexibility in terms of what level of access and what folders people have access to. And then the one last thing to set in terms of permissions is scope. And this is, if I'm allowed to run the report, what data can I get back on that report? So in this case, by default, it's set to my office. So if I was on Office A and I ran a report, I'd only get results back that are specific to Office A. The other options, of course, are all offices. If I should get access to the data across all offices, or selected offices where I can kind of pick and choose the specific offices that I want to get data back from. And then one last step is, what users do you want associated with this security group? So by clicking the Add User button, you can see all users on your organization that have a Lone Wolf account. So that's logging into BrokerWolf with an email address and password. They'll be listed here, and you can add them to the security group and then save it. And now they have access to analytics in exactly the way you've defined. Hope that helps.